Hello everybody, всем привет. Today I've got an update for you that should be kind of fun. So I started adding in mouse clicks yesterday and scrolling when the hero moves around. But the big jump here, I'm about to show you on the screen down here, is this. I now have the hero screen popping up. So the fonts are a little off, and the morale is kind of working. Morale and luck is kind of working, but I can exit this and go back and start moving around. I have the auto scrolling. I do not have event interactions. That's going to be something else I'm working on. And I still do occasionally get, you know, this route could be designed better. And I think I need to add another penalty for turns to make this kind of curve and go straighter. Although I think technically, mathematically, from the game's perspective, this costs the same as this. So the paths are identical, but in terms of movement cost, but it just doesn't look quite as good as the original game does. But I want to show you how I coded this one up. So I gave it a screenshot of this. You know, this is essentially a hero screen, and I gave it the hero screen spec where it lists some of these values, and I didn't actually give it the the underlying files, but I should just pull those up so you guys can see what that looks like. It's down here in hero screen, the ICN file for hero screen. Let's see. So these are what the actual files are. So this is knowledge, defense, spell power. This is kind of this blank tile that's behind the experience, morale, and luck. And this is attack power. And then they have these like clickable buttons. And then these are the icons. This is like I guess good luck, bad luck, and neutral luck. And then this is good morale, bad morale, and neutral morale. And if we pop open our hero menu here, we've got neutral morale, neutral luck, and 57 experience. You know, the alignment of this is, I think it's pretty good, but it's that was something I definitely had to adjust, and I guess I'll get to that in a minute. So I also added in things like a name for the hero, a name for the castle. My Sorceress and Warlock heroes did not have the spellbook being spawned with them, so I had to add that in. And then I started, so when the mouse is hovering over the hero, it makes this little helmet icon. And when that happens, that's when it clicks and will take you to the hero screen. There's also a button here that will, or actually no, it's the heroes are displayed here, and when you click on that, that will also take you to the hero screen. I'm going to work on that next. Also. So anyway, I highlighted which of these buttons here are. This is for the exit. This is for the dismiss. This is for, you know, the attack, defense, knowledge, spell power. And I highlighted so the purple bar at the top of the screen as well is, it says like hero name, the hero class. And so I specified that, and I said I'll fix the font later, let's just use a default font. And on the top half of the screen there's 2 rows of 6 boxes, and I explained what's in there and where the hero portrait images are. So if we go into our heroes, this is all the stuff in there. So You know, this is Troyan, I think. So each of these, this is Atlas. Each of these portraits is in here. There's Ector. And so I explained that format and how the hero ID is decoded. And then the next 4 boxes contain the attack skill, defense skill, spell power, and knowledge. And let's see, we were down here at hero screen. So I explained which of these, and the given background is 0003. Spell power 000, 4 is attack skill, and 1 is defense skill. So I gave it the correct specifications, and then I gave it some info about morale and luck, which images corresponded to which. The second row of 6 boxes is the creature's army. We also have this crest in the CRST. You know, these are the hero crests. So I think that's the that was the blue Warlock. This is the blue Sorceress. We've got the blue Barbarian, etc. So I explain where the crests are, how we determine those. The monster images are in Monsters ICN, which is down here in Monsters. These are going to be displayed there. And then the backgrounds for these monsters are in strip.icn. And that is down here. So these are the various backgrounds of the different creature types. Then I explained which creature types go on which background. The bottom 2 rows of 7 boxes down here, these are for artifacts. Gave it the artifact spec, and then also specified about the spellbook. And then I said I'm not sure how these offsets are calculated for the hero screen, but in the worst case I can measure pixels, or you can, and find the right pixel offsets for each of these artifacts. And I want this to show up when the helmet icon is selected. I want to click on that. So it goes through, it looks at game memory, it looks at all the information, and it generates these 2 new files, heroscreen.h, the header file, and heroscreen.cpp, the C++ file. And then it gives me some changes for the map files and the game main file. Now the actual output files that it gave me were 3 patch files. So I had to go in and manually like crunch through different patches here. Like it's like telling me where to cut and paste different things, which, hey, that's useful, but it's not as great as it used to be, like when it would just automatically do this for you. Well, why did it do this? Because the files that I'm dealing with now are starting to get to be like 60-ish kilobytes, and so they're starting to be a little too big for it to just automatically dump out the output. So we're starting to get to a point where it's getting a little bit unwieldy. So maybe what I can do is break it down into some smaller files and kind of push some things around, and that may be, so I may have to like restructure some things in the project a little bit to make it easier for the AI to assist me. First thing is I realized that the automated, these are the correct logical names, but inside the code, sometimes it would put the Barbarian first, sometimes it would put the Sorceress first. So these 2 would be switched kind of just randomly in the game. And some of that comes from the, the portraits. The order goes Knights first, then Barbarians, then Sorceress. But I think on the crests, the crest goes Knights, Barbarians, Sorceress. And I think my code had originally specified like it did a lookup table, like 0 was knight, 1 was barbarian, 2 was sorceress, and 3 was warlock. And this was based on these crests. So this was like the first like faction or army or class specification. And so that got kind of baked in, and then a bunch of other areas of the game, it actually goes knight, barbarian, it goes knight, sorceress, barbarian, warlock in a few other areas. Actually, the portraits, did I say that right? No, so the portraits actually match this, but the maybe it was the creature factions. Let's look at monsters. There was some mismatch. I misspoke just now and said the wrong mismatch, but there is one, I promise. And let's see, monsters are here. So yeah, this goes knight, barbarian, sorceress, warlock. Maybe it's in town. Yeah, so that's the first one here. So this shows knights first, then sorceress, then barbarian, then warlock, and then random. So town 32 was reversed, and also where was strip? So no, strip is correct. Strip goes knight, barbarian. Well, so anyway, there was a part of it that was mismatched, and so I had to make sure, I had to go through and double check things. I was manually making sure that stuff worked. But this was the basic factions that had been determined from the classes, and so it gave me a corrected version where it basically just reordered these factions. And what I ended up doing was I ended up actually reordering everything else. So I didn't take this advice from the AI. I actually did it a different way. I just didn't. I thought it was cleaner to be more consistent with the knight. Basically, I did it this way. So this fi equals 1, fi equals 2, I ended up switching these so that the name structure and the crest structure matched with the knight, barbarian, sorceress, warlock. And so this is this is just making sure that it registers. I hadn't actually looked at the code when I typed that prompt. And it started giving me basically additional information that was already in the patch. But this is how we're basically detecting if we're detecting the hero, like the helmet cursor is active, then this is what we do. We're going to open the hero screen. We're going to select the hero in the hero index, and we're going to track if the exit button is pressed. And then I had to add in this TrueType font library for the SDL2 package. So on the Windows, which I'm developing on right now, I initially developed this on Mac, my very first prototype, and now I switched over to Windows, and I'm trying to make sure that it's cross-platform. So I added some of these in and started to basically implement all the patch details, also rebuilding my CMake lists file to compile this correctly. And I had pasted something in here, and this is one of those dangers of AI, is sometimes it will just make up a random variable that represents some former block of code. And this one is if minimap. That is not valid syntax. I was getting an error, and I was like, what happened? And what it really meant was this: if not hero screen open plus this other stuff. So you know, this is one of those things where AI can just really kind of crap out on you. So I figured it out and put the right position in, or put that code in the right position. And then I started getting some build errors, and basically a lot of these errors they're not compiler errors, they're linker errors. So I wasn't specifying where this went. I actually have another executable called Heroes of Might and Magic 1 extract. That's actually in one of the GitHub repositories that's linked on this video, or linked on the channel actually. And that I had pasted hero screen CPP into that instead. And so that's why I kept getting this same error, but then eventually it caught me and said, actually, you're not doing this. It needs to go here, not here. So oops. So once I got that working, it gave me some more back and forth about how to actually do the build, do the make files. I gave it my current CMake lists file, and it still points out. So up above it told me to not put it in Heroes of Might and Magic 1 extract, but to put it in HOMM1, and I still did it wrong. So then I also wanted to add a command to copy the fonts into the build directory, because the font is required by the executable to be able to read it. So I did this. It's valid in the if win32 section, so I don't know if this will work on Mac. So I'm going to test that pretty soon. And then I noticed also that the monsters were not rendering correctly. So it had chosen Minimon ICN and then backing up to monsters 32 as like the fallback, and that was just like straight up not correct. But because these are like the little tiny map tiles, that's not what's shown in this hero window. It's the higher quality monsters.ICN. These are the higher quality images that are shown there. So anyway, I suggested, like, hey, can we use monster ICN? And it gave me just a drop-in replacement to paste in. And it also, when I first did this, all of these images were kind of like squished together at the top. They didn't have the right offsets. So I asked it, like, hey, where can I just adjust these offsets and just play around with them? So I started adjusting these various offsets manually, recompiling and looking where things came out to be. So I manually adjusted this. I didn't rely on the AI for that. And this was kind of what I was seeing, but if you'll notice here, I didn't have the attack skill, defense skill stuff yet, and then the monsters were actually offset, like they're sort of floating in the air a little bit, so it wasn't quite right. And so I gave it the monster spec here, which tells you, well, it's loading, but this tells you the offsets of each of these creatures and basically where the bottom is. So I gave it my hero screen existing data and the specs and said, I want to add some labels for the attack skill, defense skill and stuff. And then I want to also adjust these creatures to have a uniform like bottom layer, which you see they do now on Natasha the Sorceress here. So I got the bottom aligned monster rendering and the stat labels, although the code it gave me put the stat labels first. I had to move this down because it was rendering the background after rendering the text. So it was, AI makes some silly mistakes like that occasionally. And then this updates the army rendering with the bottom baseline. So this was the code that I used for that. Anyway, you see the results here. Let me just run once more and show a different random hero generation. So this is a Barbarian who doesn't have a spellbook. He's got 2/1/1/1, got some of these other creatures. And let's just do one more random generation, see if we can get a different hero type. This is also Natasha the Sorceress. Just do some random ones here. We got Maximus. And one thing that I need to work on as well is it looks like the random generation might be okay. No, we are getting random heroes. That's good. I was worried because we got the same heroes a couple times in a row. But one thing I need to also improve is the Warlock has a little more scouting ability. He starts out with a slightly wider view. So I need to figure out how to implement that. That's one fix that I noticed is needed. I think the normal hero view is like 5, and I think the Warlock gets 7. But that's it for now. Have a good day.